Eiffel Tower, symbol of Paris. Built for the 1889 World Fair, it was originally meant to be a temporary feature, being designed to be readily dismantled. At 330 metres, it was the world's tallest man-made structure until 1930. There are 37 bridges crossing the River Seine in Paris. If we cross the third bridge to that narrow island, we arrive at this. Before being moved here, this model was actually used in planning the construction of the one in New York. Directly across the river from the Eiffel Tower are the Trocadero fountains and the Palais de Chaillot, and beyond the Paris Business District, and the huge arch of La Défense. Two and a half times the size of New York Central Park, the Bois de Boulogne is a massive green space of parks, gardens, lakes, a zoo, camping grounds, racecourses, sports fields, and the Roland Garros tennis stadium. Another arch, the Arc de Triomphe, dominating Place d'Étoile, the Star, where 12 roads converge. One of these is, of course, the Avenue des Champs-Élysées, Elysian Fields. Heading down the Champs-Élysées, we reach the Petit Palais and the Grand Palais, housing various museums, art galleries and temporary exhibitions. Back to the river and the beautiful Pont Alexandre III, named after the Russian Tsar Alexander III, it is the most ornate bridge in Paris. Crossing over this bridge to the left bank again, we reach Hôtel des Invalides, built in the reign of Louis XIV as a hospital and home for disabled soldiers. It still serves this purpose, but also houses museums of military history. The complex includes the spectacular Église du Dôme, the Dome Church. Looking up from below the dome, and directly under the dome is Napoleon's tomb. And through that glass we can just glimpse another church, the Cathedral of Saint Louis des Invalides, often referred to as l'Église des Soldats, the Soldiers' Church. Nearby is the Musée Rodin. Housed in the Hôtel Biron, used by Rodin as his workshop, the house and gardens contain many of his best-known pieces. There is also a Camille Claudel room. Camille was Rodin's muse, protégé, lover, and a gifted sculptor. Mignon means cute in French. Yeah, perhaps not so cute. Further along the left bank is the Musée d'Orsay. This building started life as the Gare d'Orsay, a railway station including a luxury hotel. There is an impressive collection of artworks here. For me, the real delight was the extensive collection of Impressionist works. Van Gogh, Sisley, Pissarro, Monet, and many others. A little further along the Seine is the Institute of France. Founded in 1795, it manages over 1,000 foundations. Back across the river, the Champs-Élysées ends at the beautiful Place de la Concorde. The Luxor obelisk was moved here in 1830, a gift from Egypt, one of a pair carved for the Luxor temple around 1250 BC. The position of the obelisk marks the spot where the guillotine stood during La Terreur. A pair of beautiful fountains. Looking down Rue Royale and across Place de la Concorde, these monuments appear to be jammed together, but that's just an effect of the Terry lens. In fact, Église du Dôme is about 2.5 kilometres away. Looking more like a Greek temple than a church, La Madeleine is a favourite place for Parisians to tie the knot. From Place de la Concorde, it's just a pleasant stroll through the Jardin des Tuileries to the smaller Arc de Triomphe. Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel. The Palais du Louvre was built in the 12th century, serving as a royal palace until Versailles was built. After the Revolution, it became a museum displaying the nation's art. And there is lots of art to look at. Adjacent to the Louvre are the gardens of the Royal Palace. This area is known as Les Halles, which refers to the glass and iron halls of the Paris market, which once stood here. In the 70s, they were replaced with this huge shopping centre, which in 2010 was replaced with a modern Westfield. I didn't take this photo. The best way to get a free view of Paris is to go to the top of La Samaritaine, a department store. The town hall. And in winter, you can skate right out the front for free. Named after a former president, this building contains the largest collection of modern art in Europe. Another lovely square in Paris. The Paris Opera House stands on Place de la Bastille. Ile de la Cité is the oldest part of Paris, and despite its name, Newbridge, the Pont Neuf is the oldest bridge in Paris. La Conciergerie is one of the oldest buildings in Paris. There have been buildings on this site for 2,000 years, but the current building dates from the 14th century. Once part of Palais de la Cité, it contains the largest medieval hall in Europe. It served as a prison and courthouse, and during the Revolution, over 2,000 prisoners were held and tried here before being executed. The most famous of these was Marie Antoinette. Sainte-Chapelle was also part of that royal palace once. It's still there as a beautiful church. Another beautiful church, of course, Notre Dame de Paris, also standing on Ile de la Cité. It's extensively damaged by fire in 2019. Extensive restoration work has been carried out and it recently reopened to the public. These photos were, of course, taken before the fire. A good way to see a lot of Paris is to hop on a bateau mouche, a flyboat. On the left bank, opposite Notre Dame, is the oldest church in Paris. Nearby is this beautiful fountain at the beginning of the Boulevard Saint-Michel. And a pleasant stroll up this boulevard will take you to the Luxembourg Palace and Gardens. The building in the background there is Le Panthéon, built from 1758 to 1790 in the reign of Louis XV as a church. It now holds the remains of distinguished French citizens, Victor Hugo, Jean-Paul Marat, Voltaire, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Pierre and Marie Curie, Émile Zola, Louis Braille, Jean Moulin, and in 2021, American-born Josephine Baker. This is another lovely church nearby, Saint-Étienne-du-Mont. And another boulevard to check out, Boulevard Saint-Germain, is the church that it gets its name from. Montmartre, the only real hill in Paris, once had vineyards growing on its slopes and a small village covering the summit. Its district is now known for its vibrant nightlife and many great restaurants, perhaps the best known being Moulin de la Galette. Rising from the summit of Montmartre, Sacré-Cœur. the second most visited site in Paris after the Eiffel Tower. And if you feel like being a kid for the day, take the train out to Disneyland, but be prepared for very long queues at every attraction.